Okay, guys, just a quick update regarding. I've already started hearing the reports. They believe that ISON has broken up and did not survive perihelion. Let me show you ISON's last known position, or at least one of them. It's going to be close enough. Um, see if I can pull this up here for you real quick. There we go. All right. ISON was somewhere in this general vicinity, and when ISON disappeared, and we saw that on the actually the Lascaux C3 cameras had pulled that, and then one of the stereo A's I think had it as well, but images, but it disappeared, and we were all hoping, okay, well, hopefully it's going to reemerge, and we kept waiting and waiting and waiting, and it did not reemerge. Interestingly enough, though, one of the more exciting things we were waiting for was we kept looking at the SDO cameras, because the SDO cameras were prepped and repositioned and ready to go to catch all three stages of ISON. And not only did we not see the departure of the perihelion, but the SDO cameras didn't even pick up the approach of ISON, which is mighty odd. And I'm sure NASA is very frustrated right now and trying to figure out what is it that they missed with this. But let me show you what I'm talking about. This is the SDO camera. I think it's the 170, and that does not look right at all. Look at this. I think this is the perihelion. It is. Okay. Sorry, guys. Had this on the wrong one. Let's pop this back. Let's go to the approach so I can show you what I'm talking about. Now, one of the very first things that we would have seen would have been the approach of ISON on the SDO cameras. But what we got instead was a pretty picture of an active sun, and not one hint of ISON coming through. And which I'm sure, and this is still loading here, it's going to take a moment to load. It's got to get to 303. But I'll move, let me pop this back over here while it's doing that. We didn't see anything come through, and you got to remember, now the SDO cameras are designed that essentially they'll pick up anything that has oxygen, any material that has oxygen in it. And we know that comets are made of ice, which means that there's water in that, and then obviously there's oxygen in water. So the cameras should have picked up ISON because there's oxygen in it, and they didn't pick up anything. So very, very frustrating for everybody, but I'm sure most of all for NASA. And I know I kept watching the Google Hangout and was listening to the scientists, and they seemingly were scratching their heads at this too. But here's the Lascaux C3 camera. This is one of the last images that at least I was able to pull before it had actually made its actual approach and disappeared. But here's ISON. Here's the long tail. Here's one part of the tail. Here's the other part of the tail. Here's the sun, and showing it's very active. It's responding to the comet. And this was just, I think this was within an hour of it making its final approach. And but I'm not really sure why the SDO cameras didn't pick up anything. But here's the SDO cameras. Let me get back to this real quick. All right, here's the sun, and what we would have seen. And I think I might have said in another video, I thought the orbit was that it was coming from this area around, but it's actually is coming from this area over here. So it would have been coming from right to left in the camera view, and but nothing came through. This is the time of the approach is down here. These are all the frames for it, and I know they'll be analyzing this quite a bit, but none of it showed up. Now, one part of the comet showed up here in the approach. Now, let me show you the perihelion, the 171 that was to see the perihelion for this. which would have been when it was making an attempt to turn around the sun, and that might take a moment to load as well. Yeah, nope, that was much quicker. But check out this activity. Look at the activity on the surface of the sun. That's CMEs there, which are coronal mass ejections, and just huge bursts of energy as it just the sun just kind of dumps material out and it ejects it from the sun. So, just that's a beautiful sight. Just look at that, powerful stuff. But no ISON in here. Now remember, ISON has water in it, which means it has oxygen in it, and that water is in the form of ice. So the cameras would have been able to pick this up because it was an oxygenated material, and it's not there. So this is what it's like on all of the cameras. Very frustrating for NASA. Very frustrating for the whole community. But I know NASA is trying to figure out, did something go wrong, and if so, what? But ISON might reemerge. Lovejoy surprised everybody, reemerged later. ISON might do the same thing. We don't know, but I'll keep my eyes on it. I'm still reading through data and looking at images as NASA releases them, and I'll post them. I'll post them later this evening. What else comes in? But God bless you guys. Love you guys. Keep your eyes on the skies. And again, happy Thanksgiving. Take care.